Keep moving. Don't look back. Life will not stop for you to catch your breath. It will not pause to let you fix everything before moving on. Whether you are ready or not, each moment slips into the next, and time keeps flowing. That is why you cannot afford to stand still in the shadows of yesterday. What has gone is gone. The mistakes you made, the opportunities you missed, the people who left, the words you wish you could take back. They are all part of a past that no longer belongs to you. It is like trying to hold on to the smoke from a blown-out candle. The tighter you grip, the faster it slips away. The only thing you have in your hands right now is this very moment. And if you waste it staring behind you, you will miss the beauty and the blessings that lie ahead. There are people who spend their entire lives chained to a single memory, replaying it over and over until it becomes the only lens through which they see the world. They allow guilt to bury their confidence, anger to harden their hearts, or nostalgia to blind them from the reality of now. They say, if only things had been different. But life is not built on if-onlys. It is built on what now. The past may have shaped you, but it does not have to define you. You are more than your mistakes, more than your losses, more than the pain you have carried. The truth is, you cannot truly walk forward if your eyes are constantly turned backward. Imagine trying to run while looking over your shoulder. You will stumble, you will lose balance, you will miss the path that leads you to safety. In life, when you keep looking back, you trip over opportunities, you fall into the same holes, and you fail to see the doors opening right in front of you. The past has its place, but that place is not your permanent address. One of the hardest things to accept is that there are events in life you cannot undo. Words once spoken cannot be unspoken. Time once gone cannot be retrieved. Some relationships will never be mended, and some wounds will never get the apology you think you deserve. But healing does not require closure from the other side. Healing begins when you decide to release what you cannot change. You may think that holding on will keep you safe, that remembering every detail will protect you from future pain. But in truth, holding on is the very thing that stops you from moving toward the joy you deserve. Sometimes, we cling to the past not because it was good, but because it is familiar. We would rather sit in the ruins of yesterday than step into the uncertainty of tomorrow. But comfort zones can be cages, and familiarity can be a slow poison. You cannot grow if you are too afraid to leave what has already burned down. Your future will not come knocking on the door of your past. You have to step forward to meet it. And yes, moving on is not always a straight path. There will be moments when the memories sneak back in, when you smell something, hear a song, or see a face that pulls you into the past like a riptide. That is normal. But the key is not to live there. A glance into the rearview mirror is fine, but if you stare too long, you will miss the road ahead. You can acknowledge what happened without becoming trapped in it. You can honor the lessons without reliving the pain, and forgiveness plays a huge role in letting go. And forgiveness is not just for others, it is for yourself too. You are not perfect, and you never will be. But perfection was never the goal. The goal is growth. The goal is to be better than you were yesterday, to learn from your scars, and to keep walking no matter how heavy your feet feel. Forgiving yourself does not mean excusing your mistakes. It means recognizing that you are human, that you have learned, and that you refuse to let shame chain you to the ground. As for forgiving others, understand this: forgiveness is not saying what they did was right. It is saying you will no longer allow their actions to control your emotions and your life. Carrying bitterness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. It eats you from within, while they may not even remember the details. Letting go is not weakness. It is choosing freedom over slavery to the past. When you keep moving, even if it is at the slowest pace, you allow life to meet you halfway. Blessings that are meant for you cannot reach you if you remain stuck in yesterday. The one who has carried you through storms before is still with you now. If you survived the nights you thought would break you, then you have already proven that you are stronger than your fears. Every sunrise is proof that you are being given another chance to walk forward. Think of nature itself. It never looks back. A river does not flow backward. The wind does not return to where it began. The seasons do not reverse. They keep moving in the direction they were created to move. And so should you. There is wisdom in letting things pass. Because everything that leaves your life creates space for something better. It may not feel like it now. But one day you will look back and realize that what you thought was the end was actually the beginning. The danger of looking back too much is that it distorts your memory. You may romanticize the past and forget its pain, making you long for something that was never truly good for you. Or you may dwell so much on your failures that you convince yourself you are incapable of success. Both rob you of the power of now. The present is the only place where change can happen, where opportunities can be taken, where new memories can be created. When you decide to keep moving, you will lose some people along the way. Not everyone is meant to go where you are going. Some were only part of your journey for a season. Trying to drag them with you will only slow you down, and sometimes, it will even pull you backward. It is not selfish to walk away from those who keep you tied to pain, drama, or negativity. It is self-respect. You cannot step into a new chapter if you insist on rereading the last one. There will also be moments of fear when you cannot see the full picture ahead. But you do not need to see the entire staircase to take the first step. Trust that each step will reveal the next. Trust that the path ahead is better than the one behind. Fear will whisper that you should stay where you are, but faith will tell you to take the step anyway. Your journey is unique. Comparing it to someone else's will only distract you. You may see someone racing ahead while you feel stuck, but you do not know what burdens they carry, or how much time they have spent preparing for their pace. Your only competition is with the version of yourself that refuses to move forward. If you are even one step ahead of where you were yesterday, you are winning. Moving forward is not just about chasing success or dreams. It is about protecting your inner peace. It is about valuing yourself enough to stop reopening old wounds, to stop letting yesterday steal today. You deserve to live a life where your heart feels light, where your mind feels free, and where your soul feels ready for what comes next. But that life will not come to you. You have to walk toward it. So keep moving. Even when you are tired, take small steps. Even when you feel afraid, move with trembling feet. Even when you do not have all the answers, move anyway. Because movement itself is healing. Every step away from the past is a step toward the life you were meant to live. And one day, without even realizing it, you will wake up and find yourself so far from the pain of yesterday, that it will feel like another lifetime. Do not let the shadows of what was steal the light of what is. Do not let regret dictate your pace. Do not let fear hold you at the edge of your potential. The road ahead is waiting for you, but it will not wait forever. Let go of the weight, lift your eyes from the ground. Take a breath, take a step, and do not look back. The future is calling, and it is far too beautiful to miss. The past is a lesson, not a prison. It holds moments that shaped who you are, but it was never meant to hold you captive. Every mistake, every heartbreak, every loss carries within it a seed of wisdom, a reminder that life is a constant teacher. Yet many people confuse learning from the past with living in it. They replay the same moments in their minds, allowing regret, shame, or resentment to keep them chained to what can no longer be changed. This is where the danger lies. When the past becomes a cell you willingly lock yourself in, believing you have no key to escape. In truth, the key has always been in your hands, hidden in your ability to see your experiences as stepping stones rather than shackles. Lessons from the past can be powerful guides. They teach you where you went wrong so you can avoid the same pitfalls. They highlight where you were strong, so you can lean on those strengths again. They reveal the kind of people who enrich your life, and the kind you should protect yourself from. When you embrace the past as a teacher, you approach it with curiosity instead of fear, with humility instead of bitterness. You stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and start asking, "What did this teach me?" That shift in perspective transforms your past from a weight to a resource, from something that drags you down to something that helps you rise. But when you treat the past like a prison, you relive the pain over and over, as if punishment will somehow create redemption. You hold on to grudges, thinking they protect you, when in reality they corrode your peace. You tell yourself that because something bad happened before, it will happen again, and in doing so you rob yourself of the possibility of new beginnings. Living like this means you are serving a life sentence for a crime you may not have even committed. Your past becomes the walls around you, your guilt and fear become the bars, and your own thoughts become the jailer. It is important to remember that even the most painful chapters in your life do not define the entire story. You are more than the sum of your mistakes, more than the losses you endured, more than the people who hurt you. Your value does not diminish because of what you went through. Instead, the experiences that once brought you to your knees can be the very foundation upon which you build a stronger version of yourself. A broken bone, once healed, is often stronger at the fracture point. The same is true for the human spirit, when it allows pain to teach rather than imprison. Freedom comes when you stop resisting the truth of what happened, and accept it as part of your journey. The past is unchangeable, but your relationship with it is entirely within your control. You can choose to let it keep you bound, Or you can choose to walk forward carrying only the wisdom it left behind. Regret delays progress, because it's your attention fixed on what can no longer be changed, instead of what can still be created. It is a constant replay of missed opportunities, wrong decisions, and words left unsaid, as if reliving them will somehow rewrite the outcome. But regret does not move you forward. It keeps you circling the same moment over and over, like a traveler lost in a looped road. Every minute spent dwelling on what if is a minute stolen from what now. The more you feed regret, the more it grows. And soon it begins to color how you see your present and your future. It convinces you that because you stumbled before, you will stumble again, so you hesitate to take the next step. The danger of regret is that it pretends to be productive. It disguises itself as reflection, as careful consideration, but it often crosses the line into self-punishment. Healthy reflection learns the lesson and moves forward, but regret stays stuck in the scene, playing it frame by frame, until the weight of it makes movement feel impossible. You find yourself saying, if only I had tried harder, or if only I had chosen differently, as though time would suddenly bend. And the danger of regret is that it pretends to be productive. It disguises itself as reflection, as careful consideration, but it often crosses the line into self-punishment. Healthy reflection learns the lesson and moves forward, but regret stays stuck in the scene, playing it frame by frame until the weight of it makes movement feel impossible. You find yourself saying, if only I had tried harder, or if only I had chosen differently, as though time would suddenly bend and give you another chance. The reality is that no amount of regret will alter what happened, but every moment spent in it will alter what could happen next. Regret also breeds fear. When you let your mind dwell too long on past mistakes, you start building invisible walls around your potential. You avoid risks, not because they are truly dangerous, but because you are far afraid of repeating what once hurt you. You decline opportunities, convince yourself you are not ready, or wait for the perfect moment that never comes. All the while, life continues to move forward without you, and the very thing you fear, wasting time, becomes the result of your inaction. Progress requires momentum, and momentum cannot exist where the mind is anchored to the past. A boat cannot sail forward if its anchor is buried deep in yesterday's waters. To move ahead, you have to pull up that anchor, even if it takes effort and even if it stirs up some mud along the way. Letting go of regret is not about pretending the mistake did not happen. It is about refusing to let it define the rest of your journey. When you shift your focus from regret to growth, you reclaim control over your path. You begin to see that the past can serve as a teacher without becoming a tyrant. Every misstep becomes data, not a death sentence. You start to ask yourself, what can I do differently today? Instead of, why didn't I do that yesterday? That single change in thinking turns regret into resolve, and resolve is what fuels progress. Forgive yourself and others, because holding on to resentment, guilt, or anger is like carrying a heavy burden that only slows your journey. When you refuse to forgive yourself, you lock yourself in a cycle of self-blame that prevents growth. You replay every mistake, every wrong choice, and every failure as if you deserve to keep punishing yourself. But self-forgiveness is not about denying the wrong you have done. It is about acknowledging it, learning from it, and allowing yourself the grace to start again. No one can change what has already been written, but everyone has the power to decide what will be written next. If you keep identifying yourself by your worst moments, you rob yourself of the chance to become better. Forgiving yourself also requires humility. It is an admission that you are human, prone to errors, yet capable of change. Sometimes people hold on to guilt because they think it proves they are taking responsibility, but in reality, it often becomes an excuse for staying stuck. True responsibility is learning, adjusting, and moving forward, not endlessly carrying the weight of what cannot be undone. When you grant yourself forgiveness, you open the door to healing, which in turn allows you to walk toward a better version of yourself. Forgiving others is equally essential, not because they always deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Holding on to anger or betrayal is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. It corrodes your inner peace, keeps your heart unsettled, and ties you to people who may have already moved on with their lives. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting what happened or allowing someone to hurt you again. It means breaking the hold their actions have on your mind and emotions. It is a conscious decision to refuse to let the past dictate your future interactions and happiness. The act of forgiving others also frees you from the exhausting work of carrying grudges. Grudges demand energy. Energy you could be using to grow, to build, and to focus on what truly matters. By releasing the resentment, you reclaim your strength and attention, investing them into people and situations that add value to your life. Forgiveness is not weakness, it is a sign of strength because it requires courage to let go of pain and step into freedom. Both self-forgiveness and the forgiveness of others are connected. B. Often, those who cannot forgive others are harsh on themselves, and those who are unable to forgive themselves find it difficult to release others from blame. Learning to extend grace inward makes it easier to extend it outward, and offering it outward reinforces it inward. Forgiveness is a cycle of release that lightens the load for your soul, making space for joy, clarity, and progress. Focus on the path ahead because where your attention goes, your energy flows. Life is a journey, and like any traveler, you must keep your eyes on the road to avoid stumbling over obstacles and missing the turns that lead to growth. When you dwell too much on the road behind you, you slow your pace and risk losing sight of the opportunities unfolding before you. The past serves its purpose as a guide, but your destination lies ahead, not behind. Every day offers a new stretch of road, yet many people spend that time looking backward, measuring today by yesterday's failures or victories. Both can be distracting. Success may tempt you to stop moving, and failure may convince you that moving forward is pointless. Keeping your focus forward means embracing the reality that your future is shaped by the choices you make now. Just as a driver glances at the rearview mirror, only briefly but keeps their gaze on the road ahead, you must be intentional about where you invest your attention. Too much time staring backward can cause you to miss turns, delay your arrival, or even crash into avoidable setbacks. Life will always have reminders of the past, but they should guide your journey, not dictate your direction. When you focus ahead, you also become less vulnerable to distractions. Not every opportunity, conversation, or relationship is meant to be part of your next chapter. Some things exist only to test whether you are committed to your path, or easily swayed by detours. A forward-focused mindset allows you to evaluate each situation by asking, does this bring me closer to where I want to go? If the answer is no, you can release it without regret. This clarity of direction protects you from wasting time and energy on paths that lead nowhere. Focusing on what lies ahead also requires patience. The road may not always be straight or smooth, there will be curves, traffic, and unexpected delays. In those moments, it is tempting to turn back to where you came from because it feels familiar. But the truth is that turning back only leads you to a place you have already outgrown. Even slow progress is still progress. The important thing is to keep your vision fixed on the destination and trust that each step, no matter how small, is bringing you closer. Your path ahead is filled with possibilities you cannot yet see. Just because the horizon is unclear does not mean it is empty. The most beautiful views are often hidden until you round the bend. And you will never reach them if you keep pausing to retrace your steps. The journey is designed to reveal itself as you move. And each moment of forward focus positions you to receive what is waiting for you further along the way. Trust that better days are coming because life is a series of seasons. And no season lasts forever. The storms you face today may feel endless, but history has already proven that you have survived every difficult moment you thought would break you. The nights of uncertainty, the days of struggle, the tears you have shed. None of them were permanent, and neither is what you are going through now. Trust is an act of faith, a choice to believe that just as winter gives way to spring, hardship will give way to ease. This trust does not mean ignoring reality. It means acknowledging your current challenges while refusing to leave. But they are the final chapter. Better days are not always about drastic change happening overnight. Sometimes they come quietly, in small improvements you barely notice until you look back and realize how far you have come. A burden that felt unbearable yesterday feels lighter today. A door you thought was closed forever slowly begins to open. Even in moments when progress feels invisible, there are unseen shifts happening in your favor. Trust requires patience, because growth often happens beneath the surface before it becomes visible to the eye. Believing in better days also changes the way you carry yourself in the present. When you expect goodness ahead, you move with more hope and less fear. You take steps that align with the life you want instead of acting from a place of defeat. A person who trusts in better days invests in themselves, nurtures relationships, and seeks opportunities because they know the effort will bear fruit in time. Without that trust, it is easy to become paralyzed, to stop trying altogether, convinced that nothing will change. Life has a way of surprising those who refuse to give up. Doors you did not even know existed can swing open. People who can help you may enter your life unexpectedly. Solutions to problems you thought were impossible can present themselves in ways you never imagined. But these blessings rarely reach those who have stopped walking. Trust is the force that keeps you moving long enough to meet what is waiting for you. This trust also rests on the understanding that hardships often carry hidden benefits. The struggle that feels heavy now may be building resilience, deepening your empathy, or preparing you for opportunities that require the strength you are developing. Sometimes, what feels like a delay is actually protection, keeping you from rushing into something that would harm you. When you view life from this perspective, it becomes easier to hold on through the difficult days, knowing they are not wasted. Better days are on the way, even if you cannot yet see their shape. The sunrise does not arrive instantly. It builds slowly, pushing back the darkness one shade at a time until light fills the sky. Your breakthrough may be unfolding in the same way, and the only way to see it is to keep walking toward it with steady trust in your heart. Movement itself is healing, cause every step you take toward a better future pulls you further away from the pain of the past. Standing still in your hurt allows it to grow roots, making it harder to break free. But when you move, physically, mentally, or emotionally, you begin to loosen those roots. Warmth should be, the weight of what you've been carrying starts to feel lighter, because you are no longer holding it in the same place. Progress, no matter how small, is a signal to yourself that you refuse to remain defined by what happened. It is a declaration that you are still capable of growth, change, and renewal. Healing rarely happens all at once. It is often a slow process, built step by step, choice by choice. Sometimes the movement is barely noticeable. Getting out of bed when you do not feel like it, making a difficult phone call, applying for an opportunity even when doubt whispers in your ear. Each of these actions is a small victory, proof that you are shifting forward. These steps might not erase the pain immediately, but they weaken its hold over you. When you choose movement, you also invite new experiences and new perspectives into your life. Staying in the same emotional or physical space limits what you see and what you can become. Moving forward, even if cautiously, exposes you to fresh possibilities. It allows you to meet people who can inspire you, discover ideas that can reshape your thinking, and encounter moments that remind you life still has beauty to offer. These experiences become like patches of light breaking through a dark sky, slowly changing the way you view your journey. Movement is also a form of self-respect. It is telling yourself, I deserve to keep going. It is refusing to let your past wounds dictate your future path. Even when your heart feels heavy, the simple act of moving can remind you that you are still alive, still capable, and still worthy of reaching something better. Sometimes, the act of moving forward is the very thing that begins to heal the hurt, because it shifts your focus from what was lost to what might still be gained. There will be days when you feel like you are making no progress, when each step feels like it takes all your strength. But even in those moments, you are not where you were before. You are not standing in the same place where the pain first found you. Every inch you move forward increases the distance between you and the moment that hurt you most. Healing is not just about the absence of pain. It is about reclaiming your power, and movement is one of the most powerful ways to do that. The journey might be slow, but with every step, warmth should be. You are teaching yourself that you can carry on, that you are not bound to remain in the place where your wounds began.